All right, traders, George here, and time to review gold, the euro, and the US dollar index here. I've made some big picture trade calls here recently, and they've really moved in favor quite well across the board. These are the key price points for gold. You should have these things memorized by now if you've been watching these videos. The last call was really to be short below 82s, looking for 67, which is sort of a rest stop on the way to 43s. 43, there's some significant trading there, not so much on the way up to 82s. 82 to 87 is a balance beam. There's more trading commitment there. But today we're driving to new structure lows on this move here. We're $30 in favor since breaking the floor here. If you look to the left, you can see right about now at 1253s, we're just starting to graze into the top of this balance beam here. So there could be a slowdown to the selling here starting now into the next $10, $8 or so. And this is an area to look to push stops down if you're short. It's even an area to look for a potential bounce for things to fill back up through this air pocket here. Any rallies that happen off of this as a swing low area, expect to see resistance at 67s, and if we get through that at 82s, and expect that 82 resistance to be significant and a new test lower. If the bulls can trade it over 87, that would be something to take note of, but they've convincingly let this uptrend be broken here by the bears, and we're moving into this forecasted target zone very well here. So that's the deal with gold futures. I'll also run you through some gold stocks here just to show you how bad things are for the gold stocks. But let's zip over to the euro. Here's what I showed you guys on the euro just recently here, less than 4 weeks ago. This was the trade setup sitting here in the 360s or so, looking for price to move below that point to fill into this zone here, getting down to this heavy dominator here, 3070s. Potential bounce there, but any move lower than that, below 3070, expect 2950s. Here we are at, actually the target I had was 2945s here as I put up in the room, but 12950 from that old video there. And you can see that it sort of stalled out at the top line here, but as soon as it broke below 3070, it was game over and just a beeline straight to the floor here. And look where price stopped. I mean, it stopped right at this target zone yet again. So a lot of resonance with these forecasted target points. Real great thing to see if you're on the right side of the trade. Last I showed this to you guys, up over 225 pips on that move down to the ceiling here. Now up quite a bit more. Even if you stopped out and even reversed long here and got stopped on the reversal, getting short yet again, picking up over 100 pips more to the downside there. So there's a lot of trading commitment where we are. This is a good spot to look for a bounce or to push stops down. Any moves up, expect this zone here to be resistance. However, we do have a little bit lower to go to test a bit more of where all this trading commitment is, and even this prior set of structure lows here. So there is a bit lower for price to go here, and it's really made a key transition below this round number of 1300. The dominator here is at 3070. Price is just slashed right through that like it wasn't even there. So expect lower prices for the euro here. So let's go over to the US dollar index now, and another big picture call. Let me show you what that looked like just a handful of weeks ago. Trading here just in the sub 8260 zone here, already come up to a key fib point and looking for a potential to fade this here and move back down. But if the bulls took over this zone here, look left at that trading commitment, things really open up quite a bit and looking to get up to 83.75s there. So here's what's happened since. It broke down here just a little bit, but it quickly recovered the top line there and immediately filled up, and we're well past target 3 right now. Likely going to 84.55 is the next key target zone there for the US dollar index. So big moves, gold, euro, US dollar index, all really about being on the right side of the balance beam. You want to be a buyer above and a seller below. This last instance here, great example. You're moving up here long, take some profits, even reverse to short, get quickly stopped out for a small loss, reverse, stop and reverse to long, fill through to that last target. Also, knowing that it's that solid of a commitment down here makes it real easy to be long coming out of this rotation down here for the US dollar index, just like being short below 82 in gold and being short below the 33.60s there in the euro. So let's take a look at how bad things are for gold in the gold mining camp here. You know, I've been mentioning in the live room for quite some time it's aggressive to be long gold, and saying that with the megaphone from the top of every mountain I can get to. But a lot of traders are just focused on the long side for gold. Even if you own coins and bullion, traders still aren't shorting the futures to take advantage of the price action and to hedge that ownership. And you know, that's the downside of ownership, is you can have a key, potentially historic rotation in price that may never recover by the time you want to unload that investment. So here's some gold mining stuff for you. I'm just going to go through some of the main ones, and in fact I'm going to go to monthly charts here, which gives you a little heads up as to how bad things are for gold. This is Newmont Mining. It's down here in the 25s. I actually showed this to you guys in the live room for a little long setup that went up and hit target 1, but it came right back down to the entry point and is now trading just a bit below. It's just got a couple dollars lower to go, and it's below all of this trading commitment, and it's just completely open below. This is just a horrible looking chart. It's at a spot where it's had an opportunity to bounce, and it's just getting sucked back down. It could see some volatility around here and spike up and back and forth through this zone here, but anything lower than about 24s or so, you're in very dangerous waters here with Newmont. So some signs of strength would be if it's trading over the $26, $27 neighborhood, then it's got a chance to fill up into this air pocket here. But right now it's barely able to find a bounce off of this area, and a little bit lower, not going to look so hot there for Newmont. How about Yamana, one of the few low price stocks I'll throw in here. This thing is now trading down into the 7s. Okay, look at the trading commitment. A lion's share of the trading commitment between 13 and 8 plus. It just put in a resistance swing right there at 9s and is driving to new relative lows here. It's trading below much of this trading commitment here, just a hair lower, round number 7, and it opens up in a giant way down to 6s for an uptrend test. That's about all you've got to work with there for Yamana. Falling knife 101. Okay, Gold Corp. Gold Corp on the monthly here. This has tried to bounce off of a key area here and just rejecting the top line as resistance. It's down to 25s right now. Any lower than this and it's going to come right down into the 23, which is the floor here, 23 zone. Look for a test in the 2070s to this point here, and below that it opens up huge down to the mid 13s. Okay, so if the bulls can dig in here, fine, let's see them do it, but they're not able to hold any of these bounces and break to some new structure highs here and test those as support. The opposite is happening, and Gold Corp might be showing up to this second leg sell party here any moment. Let's look at Barrick Gold, ABX. This one I showed as a long setup. It actually hit targets 1 and 2, and then here's another example where it goes up, and right where it needs to break through and move on up and sort of undo a lot of the selling, it just finds resistance there and back down. Now it's moving back towards the entry point and really just a little bit lower here. We're at 1671s. Boy, this thing's coming from 56s, right? It tells you how unfavored this is. If it gets below the round number of 15, it's trading below all of this trading commitment here, and it's literally open territory to the downside there for Barrick. So there's a lot of trading commitment here. Price is below that right now. That's extremely bearish. You see it trading over this top line here, and for the round numbers 20, that would be a game changer, but I wouldn't hold your breath on that one for Barrick. Two more here. I'm not going to look at the little $3, $2 mining stocks, but we'll look at Royal Gold, RGLD. Royal Gold is one of the few that's actually in somewhat of an uptrend when you look back here, but on this last strong rally here, it's moved up to this key balance beam. It poked above it, rejected it, and as it breaks back below here, that's the pass through. So chance to be short here in the mid upper 70s, and it's moved down to the low of this beam here and just breached that. So the follow through, will see it down to 68.80s for this zone here. Look to the floor of that balance beam at about 63s, and then a big air pocket there opens up, taking it to where there's a lot of trading commitment in the $48, $49 camp. Okay, so that one is ready to fall here quite a bit, and if it's trading over about 79 or so, that would be a sign of strength from Royal Gold, and could see it retesting the highs here, but that's not likely. There it is catching up on my monthly chart. It's actually down to 71s now, so it's moving pretty well to this first target here. And then Rangold, Gold. So here's another one that's in an uptrend when you look at it from left to right, but it is now finding resistance at a key potential breakout zone here to retest these highs. Same thing that Royal Gold just did, rejected that, breaking back below, and it's starting to fill through. Let's see if this thing catches up here a little bit. But down to about 71, there it goes. So it's moving well below this spike here. Look for 71s as the floor test here, and below that, things really start to open up. There's just not as much trading commitment there, and really conservatively, bit of a rest stop to structure here for that second target. But that air pocket here really opens up down to the $45 neighborhood into this balance beam here, and below that, I mean, most of the trading commitment is in the $10 camp there, outside of this zone here. So once price gets below this area, real dangerous spot for Rangold. So the gold miners are in fantastic shorting condition right now. Gold looking like it's moving to 1243s. The US dollar index looks like it's going to 84.55s. And for the euro, much lower, and it's dealer's choice to how low that thing can go. You know, since I've got this on the monthly, I'll just point this out. You're getting a feel for how important those air pockets are. Well, if you look to the left here at all this trading commitment, at 52s, we're below this key spike. There's obviously more commitment when you look at the monthly because it involves this part of this uptrend leg here. But you know, this price point here comes in, call it 1120s right here, which would be a new structure low for this downward impulse that we're part of. And then down to this area here is really the next key dominant balance beam, and this is anywhere from about 900 up to about 1050s or so. So this air pocket here is seriously pulling on gold to move lower. This is the likely zone for it to move if this floor breaks and doesn't recover, and they're moving right back down to test that right now. We know how important 43s is, 1243, and we're just a handful of dollars away from that now. We're breaking below a lot of the most recent trading commitment here. Really, we stay below 55s, we're going to hit 43 very quickly for that first big picture target. Forecasted in advance. You guys knew about all these price points. No surprises whatsoever. So nobody watching these videos should be caught with their pants down, long gold with no stops, and focused on the conventional fundamental take on gold. Obviously, if you're doing that, you're in big trouble with your account. So remember, you want to be on the right side of the balance beams. That's where all the trading commitment is. The other side is where most people said, if I only did the opposite, I would have made money. So nice to be on the right side of that action. That's it for now. We'll see you back in the live room.